Well, hey, everybody. I'm here with my friends Steve and Larry, and what we're talking about today is differences and how differences do not need to get in the way of friendship, and how friendship as the core of a relationship can make differences kind of go away. So we're going to start out with, if you guys don't mind, a speed round, kind of like a little bit of a game show kind of feel from the 1970s. I don't have the long microphone. Remember that guy with the long microphone and everything? So I'm just going to ask you some simple questions. And question number one is football team. Who's your football team? And they're writing diligently. And here we go. So on this side, we got the Bills and we got the Patriots. Okay, so anything, is that something that would normally make guys not friendly with each other? I know for sure that's something that we talk about quite often, about being a Bills
I
fan.
think it's probably harder to be his friend during football season than it is to be his friend other times of the year. And it's probably the hardest thing to get along with him about.
But does it get in the way of the friendship?
Not at all. Not at all. In fact, I find some of our most interesting conversations are Sunday afternoons when we're talking football, talking about each other's teams and how they did for the day.
That's good. That's good. Okay, next question. And this is a tough one. This is one of those hot button issues that you're seeing people losing friends over on Facebook all the time. Political party. Is that okay? Can we even ask that question? They're writing. All right. All right. So here we go. We got the Republican Party and the Family First Party. Not the same candidate probably for presidency.
Not at all.
Okay. So, and without talking about your candidate, and without talking about why you are rooted in these different political parties, talk about how that gets in the way of your friendship and makes you so you should not be friends, and you should, or wait, that's not the truth.
There you go.
How does that work within your friendship?
I think one of the things that even a couple weeks ago, he and I were at a wedding, and at the end of the wedding, we just talked about it. We talked about the ugliness in the world. We came together on a common ground. We don't necessarily agree on every political issue that's out there, but we also don't take a political issue and let it divide us to a level of where I don't want to be his friend anymore, which is happening too much and kind of making me sick. And that's, so that's something that we can have a logical conversation about it. And tell each other our views on it and why we believe this and why we support this. And at the end of the conversation, it just ends. There's no anger, there's no hate, there's nothing. We just walk away like, all right, high five, we're good to go.
That's good. Larry, do you find yourself managing any emotions in those conversations?
Not at all. Not at all. There's times where we'll talk over posts that were made on Facebook on each other's pages, and it does not get either one of us heated. Like you said, we're just able to have a level-headed conversation about it. And then at the end of the conversation, it is, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay.
But there's never a point where, you know what, I need to take a day or two away from him, his Facebook, or anything like that. It's all love.
Sure, that's good. That's good. Yep. All right, so next question, because I have a little bit of background. Country of origin, where were you born? We got Canada and the good old USA. Does that get in the way of your friendship? Or are you just sorry about that?
I'm usually just sorry about everything. But most of the time, I mean, it's to be perfectly honest, probably one of the least things that comes up in our friendship, because I became a U.S. citizen a couple of years ago.
Oh, good.
I was born in Canada, and not many people have bad things to say about Canadians besides they're too nice. Or if they go to Quebec, they're too mean. But yeah, it's never really been a bother to us that we're from different countries, not whatsoever.
Yeah, so that probably never comes up in conversation.
I think this is probably the first time it has came up as a conversation point. Over the years, it's I've never visited with him his hometown where he's originally from, but no, never been an issue, never been a problem, never been a topic of conversation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in today's culture and time, there's a lot of talk about borders and people crossing. Yeah. I am thankful to God that Steve is one of us now, if you know what I mean. Yes. He's a good American like us.
Good old American boy.
From the good old USA.
Beyond thankful to be a part of this country and be a part of. If I had never moved here, I mean, this conversation wouldn't be happening. I wouldn't know Larry. I wouldn't know all the church family I have, and I couldn't thank God enough for being where I am today.
Yeah. So talk about now the depth of your friendship for one another. You know, you don't have to get all sappy, but kind of give us an idea of. I mean, is this? Oh yeah, we met on Facebook and we had coffee a couple times. Talk about the depth of your friendship with each other.
It's unique. Our bondship is through a very popular movie, Step Brothers. We were just sitting in a Geico training class one day, and the instructor said something about worldwide, and I echoed wide, wide, wide. And from that, it was just like the movie. We became best friends instantly.
Yep.
And over the time, we really worked at it. You know, we just did. And when I left Geico and pursued other careers, we stayed in contact, we stayed in communication.
Yeah.
A lot of times people will be like, well, because, you know, you're gone, we're not going to communicate, we're not going to talk. One of the things that Steve has always said to me is that, you know, we work at this. You know, we work at staying in connection and staying in communication.
Talk about that work and some of the experiences throughout your life. I know you were telling me earlier that it's more than just buddies, that you're actually sort of embedded in one another's lives basically for life now.
Yeah, so when we first met at Geico, we became really good friends very quickly, you know, and like you said, we worked at it. You know, one of the big things he and I both attained to doing is calling each other and speaking on the phone as often as we can. We both have families and we both have very busy lives, but making that a priority to just stay friends and stay connected. And that worked up to us working together a couple more times at different companies, but also it allowed me to be the opportunity to be the best man in his wedding, and then for him to be the best man in my wedding. And then after his daughter Taya was born, he asked me to be the godfather of his daughter.
That's great.
And I mean, that was one of the highest honors of my life, to, you know, be bonded at that level to his daughter, but also, you know, to consider him my brother through that level.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And so we're winding down on our time here together. Thanks for watching. We hope that you can remember to share this video around, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to show how God can put two people that are vastly different from one another together with such a strong bond and such a strong love, brotherly love for one another, that things that are regularly in our time tearing people apart would never tear these two apart. And so the last question for today is just kind of, if you could, tell me what your skin color is. Could you guys both write down what your skin color is? Okay, now, did you guys know what the answer was?
I had no idea.
Really?
Shocker.
You didn't know that Larry is black? And you didn't know that Steve is white?
No idea at all.
Never looked at it that way before.
But seriously, you never really did. Or have you? Have you talked about those things? And how is it that and it's not just a skin color difference. There's a vast, and not even a system of values, because the system of values is built on the love and the bond, but the nuances of life and even some convictions about life may be different. Talk about what we can all know, what people of every skin color can know about the beauty of the love of the friendship, and how this really is the last thing that should make us different.
One of the things I'll speak on to that is, you know, knowing that we don't really talk about this much, you know, about the skin color difference. He and I don't have that conversation. Mm-hmm. We just assume we're just brothers, you know. People are like, can't you tell the family resemblance through us, you know? Like, that's, you know, I mean, that's
family resemblance.
That's the conversation we have. But I'm also not blind to what's going on in the world. And that, to me, is, I try to look at things through his eyes.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, definitely.
And I try to see things, and I put out posts on social media on my thoughts, and, you know, to get back to things in the past with the racial injustice and everything like that, and just trying to have it from a different point of view for me.
Yeah.
Instead of looking at it through my eyes.
Yeah.
Through the way people think my political party looks through it.
Yeah.
And looking at it through a way of his eyes, and understanding the difference that he feels with those issues, and trying to feel those with him.
That's good.
And saying, I got your back.
That's good.
Through these issues.
Yeah. Tell me, how does that kind of resonate with you? Because there's no way around the fact that these things are different for people of color. Their
Yeah.
perspective is completely different. I'm learning that in a whole new way now. So how does that play into your view of the friendship? Is it a help to you to have a friend like this that kind of is coming alongside of you in that?
It's a huge level of comfort, is what I'll say. There's been times where I've been driving home from a various job, home inspection, way out in God knows where country,
Yeah.
and there's a cop behind me, and I'm on the phone with him, and I'm telling him, this is how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
Guy's been behind me for a couple miles. It's just, it really is just a level of comfort, just knowing that he cares that much
Yeah.
to take that stand, that viewpoint, to try to understand what's going on and how to see things through my perspective. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad to meet you and so proud to be your friends. And by the way, I'm white as well.
Yeah.
Hold up the sign.
What is that?
Just so you can let us know you're labeled.
So the last question here. I said this was the last, but this is really the last.
Like a preacher.
One word from the movie Step Brothers all right, and this is like you kind of have to match. I want you to kind of think about each other. If there's one word from Step Brothers, what would it be? See now, kind of don't let them see your answer. All right, let's see how this works out.
Putting us on the spot.
I've actually never seen the movie. I guess it's time for me. Is it rated PG?
No.
No.
I only watch PG movies.
Watch it on Comedy Central then,
All
because
right.
it's great.
Okay. The edited version.
I think
It's kind of like the dating game at this point, right?
I think we might have wrote the same word.
wrote it fast.
There's a good one. Good chance.
What is it? Ready? Go.
Close. Pow.
That wasn't staged. That was completely, let's just see where that goes. Again, thanks for watching. Share this around. Really, it's just the beginning of a conversation. If it can help you in conversations, if you have any questions about these things, let us know, and we'll do everything we can to get you resourced in relationship. That we can really live in such a way that we're putting the needs of others before our own in such a way that even the things that make us different don't have to get in the way of real godly relationships. And really, that's kind of what we're all hoping to do with stuff like this, is to show the world the way God can put things together in the midst of a broken world that's very divided, and how we can see hope and all of a bright future for our country and for our kids, because your kids are growing up watching you guys live this out. I believe the next generation is going to get this right. I believe our sons and daughters are going to finally get this right. So thank you for being a part of that.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out and helping us out with this video. God bless.
Thanks, guys.